Hello, my wow, right out of the gate. Hello, my Aloha tribe, and welcome to the Aloha Perspective. Happy Friday. Everybody's made it to Friday. It's not Friday Eve or Friday Junior. It is Friday. Anyways, right. Today is Aloha Oracle Friday. I took yesterday off, so getting into self-awareness, getting into the vortex, which is basically the core of your soul, is going to resume Monday. So as per usual, Friday is the day we just kind of wing it and have fun, right? It's Aloha Oracle Friday. So I'm going to read the guidelines and then I'm going to jump right in. So let's see. Number 1, do not worry where the message is coming from. I only work from a good place. So if you're seeing this, there's a good reason you are here. Good morning, Eileen. Number 2, do not try to make a card reading fit your questions if the card does not resonate with you. Forcing an outcome or an answer not meant for you can cause unnecessary stress and overthinking. Number 3, I will give you the message I receive and the message from the book because someone took the time to put it together, the book that is. So there's that. The reason I read those is because you saw last week, I was just all over the place. So, it's best that I read those. So anyways, sorry. What is happening to me this morning? I swear it's like the after effects of yesterday. So, as many of you who watch this know, there was no show yesterday. I was really not in a good mental place. Really not in a good mental place. So, that being said, I thought today I'm gonna do a theme for the Aloha Oracle. We always start with the Angel Answers deck, but today I want today's theme to be about healing. Okay, whether it's something you need to do, something you feel you might need to do, something you're willing to do down the road, it's up to you. But these are going to be very focused and zeroed in on that. Plus, I got a new deck from my Goddess box, so I'm a little excited. We're going to touch on that for a little bit. But I have the Heal With Yourself, Magical Messages from the Fairies, Healing with the Fairies, and Spirit Allies. And then, if we have time, I'll finish off with the New Orleans deck. But which is usually kind of an awesome summation of what we've been through, and it usually pops out with the right thing. So let's start with the Angel Answers. And, this is the only one I don't read the book on because this is more to just wait for everybody to come on since it's so early. But let's see what we got. A lot of times they end up in a really good story. Last week was great. Last week was great. Why do I feel like those are the same cards that we had last week? But, wow. Oh. They're not just messages for you guys. They're like adamant about these answers. Like, yeah, I'm going to show you. Just fly right out of the deck. Let's see. Alright, there's our last 2. Oh, last 3. Oh, we're going to get 6 today. That's unusual. 6. It's going to be 6 today. Alright, so, sorry, that's my echo. Actually, there might be more than 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ooh, lucky number 7. So just let me shuffle these really quick since they just kind of really did their own thing. Alright, number 1, big happy changes. Big happy changes. If there's shit happening in your life right now and you're just like, seriously, I cannot fucking take this anymore. I'm sorry. I think I'm in a sweary mood today, and it's not because I'm angry. It's just, it's like letting off steam, right? It's just like poof, like a teapot going off. But anyways, I just like it. So anyways, big happy changes. If there's a lot of shit going on in your life right now and you're just like, what the fuck? Seriously? Why does this keep happening to me? And I do apologize if my language is offensive to anyone. It's not intentional or intended to be so. But this card is telling you, hang in there. Okay, hang in there. Even if you're hanging by a thread, please, 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 please hang in there. But in order for big happy changes to happen, you also have to trust and believe. Okay, you have to trust and believe. So, I got my desk lamp back, but I'm not sure which light I like better, that one or the one on the floor, because this one's like, ugh. But anyways, just, big happy changes. Next one, remain positive. See, if you want the big happy changes, you have to remain positive. I know. It is not always that easy. People see my posts on all the social media that I belong to, and they think I'm just this happy-go-lucky person, and then they're just so shocked when I put a post out that says, sorry, no perspective, just, and it's like everybody panics, and I'm not positive all the time, but I try to remain positive all the time. I try to stay in a very good place all the time. So, because I know if I do that, that when I do go into a little funk like I did yesterday, or I start into maybe a little depression moment, or I start to spiral, I know it won't last as long because I've been building this up so that I don't fall too far. All right. So try your best to remain positive. Ask for help from others. Ask for help from others. I know a lot of people sit there and say, well, I can do it on my own. I can handle it on my own. I can do this, that, or the other on my own. But you don't have to. That's the whole point. You do not have to. You can ask anybody you need for help. I mean, one of the ways I learned how to do this, because I am terrible at asking for help, but one of the ways I learned how to do this is when I have the presence of mind, which isn't always. And I admit yesterday I was not very good at asking for help, but put yourself in the other person's shoes. If they were going through this, would you want them to ask you for help? If you knew they really needed it, or, so just, it's kind of that, right? Just don't be afraid to ask for help. There is no shame in asking for help. There's no weakness in asking for help. And actually, I personally believe it takes more strength to ask for help than to not ask for help, because eventually you're going to fall flat on your face and someone's just going to be forced to help you. Now, that's a situation you can't control. So what would you rather do? Control who you ask, or just fall flat on your face? Not literally, but figuratively. And then somebody else has to pick you up. So, whatever's going to happen, it's going to happen within the next few weeks. That's exciting. We got that one last week, but I get this one. This one comes up a lot. So whoever it is, I swear this feels like it's my life too. It's like I keep saying in a few weeks, but maybe that's just it. The big happy changes are coming if you remain positive and ask for help from others. And sometimes asking for help from others is just saying, hey, I could really use a positive word right now because I'm struggling to stay in a good place. Sometimes that could be as easy as that. Just asking for a kind word. So whatever you're waiting for, it's going to happen within the next few weeks. I want it the next few days. All right. So helpful people. If somebody does see you struggling and they offer to help you, don't shoot them down. They're doing their best. They're trying their best. Like I said, when I am sick or when I go through these spirals, I am like the worst person to be around, because I've spent so long hiding so much of my depression. And, I grew up in the era where, our parents were taught to talk about their feelings. So it's kind of like, we don't talk about those things. That was my mom. We don't talk about those things. And so, and then it was like, don't tell your father about this. It's like, okay. And I just trusted that. But my dad asked me later, so why didn't you? He said, I'm not sure I would have been able to help you, but at least we would have been able to work something out. And I think it's just because there's this feeling that our parents just wanted us to be strong, and there's nothing wrong with that. But like I said, it takes strength to ask for help. And I don't blame my mom. I used to. But now I just understand that when it came to stuff like this that she didn't understand, she was doing the best she could. And to some people that may not have been enough, but for her, and how I know my mom and how my mom always did try to teach me to be strong, I realized that was the best that she could do. And I can be angry about it for the rest of my life, or I can heal from it and move forward. And that's what I choose to do. So, helpful people, when people reach out to you, don't slap their hand. All right. When somebody hands you an olive, it's like I always say, when somebody hands you the olive branch, don't take it and beat them with it. Right? Just say, okay, thank you. And if somebody offers you a helping hand, don't slap their hand away. Because sometimes we do that because we're just struggling so hard that we really, really think we can do it ourselves, and we can't always. Just because we think it doesn't mean that it's true, so, and I mean that in the sense of how you're feeling. So nice. Within the next few months, I say within the next few days, and the card after that is within the next few months, whatever. So whatever's going to happen. Okay. So here's the thing. Maybe this is what it is. Within the next few weeks, whatever you're trying to manifest, may begin to come to fruition. You'll be able to see the end of the tunnel, right? And I know there's one that says a year from now. Fortunately, it's not this card. But then maybe it's just starting to unfold and you're starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. And within the next few months, you'll be like, woo, I'm out of this tunnel. All right. So, and that could just be, that doesn't mean that what's good that is coming to you, the big happy changes, that doesn't mean the big happy changes are going to happen within the next few months. It means within the next few weeks, these things are going to start unfolding. You're going to be like, wow. And maybe within the next few months, everything will be in its place, tidy where it belongs. You know, and you'll be settled into whatever this big happy change for you is. The last one, perfect timing, or as some would say, divine timing, but perfect timing. Now, if you're speaking to your higher powers or your source or your angels or whatever, do remind them that human time is so much different than veil time. That's what I call the other side of the veil time. Sometimes I think they run on Hawaiian time. You know, this is funny. I have to share this really quick because it made me think about it. So my dad took a cruise to Hawaii, and which is kind of fun because then my cousin and I take shifts on house sitting. But I know it's like a nice trip to San Diego. But he took a cruise to Hawaii, and they left late. So the first thing I said is, I'm like, seriously, are they running on Hawaiian time? I know, if you're Hawaiian, you get it. If you're Hawaiian and you're wondering why I'm saying it, I'm bloodline. So there you go. Whatever. Born there and bloodline. How about that? It's a double whammy. So, yeah. Although, you know what? I have to tell you, being raised in California, I think California time is also appropriate for this. So people just move at their own pace and as slow as they want. But perfect timing. So again, if you're setting a prayer, a manifestation, intention, remind people on the other side of the veil that you're talking to that your time is different than their time, and you don't want to be like 1,000 years old by the time this comes to fruition. Okay, because their time moves much slower over there, much slower. And so what could be a day here could be an hour or even 2 minutes over there. I mean, I'm just kind of making that part up, but the time over there moves much more slowly. So and you're probably asking, how do you know this? It flew out of my mouth. And I told you, when I do these things, I primarily work with my spirit guides, but also Archangel Gabriel. So he's giving you tips. All right. He's giving you tips, spirit tips, straight from an archangel. You know, you might want to listen to those. So anyways, again, like I said yesterday, oh, thank you, older sibling. So, I got my hair cut the other day. And I have to admit, I'm still trying to figure out the layers because, it's been so long since I had curls, because my curls were getting so weighted down because my hair was one length. And I think they had just decided to uncurl up and dye. So I had to get layers. And now it's kind of it's kind of relearning how to handle curls. So anyways, like I mentioned at the beginning of the show, for anybody that might be popping on to the live. So for people that watch this later, I do a live. So sometimes I might reiterate things and go back over things just because there are new people popping on. But yesterday was a really rough day for me. It was a really, really hard day. It started out well, but by the time I did my mental health check-in with myself at 8 o'clock, or 8:01. Yeah, I'm one of those people that sets the alarm for 8:01. And there are people, okay, I have to say this on the side. I'm not going to tell you why it's 8:01, but I know there's people out there that know why it's 8:01. You might have to think about that, but I know there's people out there just like me. So, good morning, Catherine. So anyways, yesterday was a really bad day. I didn't have what I call the common people blues. The common people blues are people who don't have a dinged up mental health. It's just like, oh, I'm having a bad day. For me, the blues can sometimes be the start of, a depression cycle or a spiral. And so yesterday I really needed to buckle down, take care of myself, and just kind of poof out, just kind of zone out and not focus on anything else but taking care of myself. So, and thank you, Catherine, for all the gifts. Super cute. They definitely made me smile. So, and that's So when I say that I have the blues, they're not normal. But anyways, I thought, it's getting near Christmas. I mean, tomorrow is a week from Christmas Eve. And a lot of people don't do well with the holidays. A lot of people feel either lonely or they feel, I don't know, that it's just, or maybe they feel like, being single is hard during the holidays because you see all these people and all these commercials on the TV. Anyways, and you're like, when is that going to be my turn? But, there's just so many different variations that people might go through during the holidays. Maybe you lost a loved one. I admit, Christmas is still hard for me. I did not have the ability to spend the last 2 Christmases with my mother because the first year I told her I had the flu when really I was in a really bad depression cycle and I just couldn't bring myself to drive, the 2 hours it would have taken to get to my cousin's house. It shouldn't take that long, but high traffic. And then I have to wait around for a couple of hours before everything starts because if I don't leave early enough, we hit traffic. And then we never get there. One time, Sibling and I sat on the freeway trying to get to my cousin's house for 4 hours. Never made it. It's a 50-mile drive. So anyways, welcome to Southern California in the 91 and the 15. So anyways, that being said, I've really struggled since then because the first time my mom said, "It's okay, babe, I'll see you next Christmas." But the next Christmas, my mom was sick, and it turns out her cancer was just really ramping itself up, and she had no idea. So she just thought she had the flu. So I never got to spend the last 2 Christmases with my mom. And I know I shouldn't feel guilty about it. I know I shouldn't hold myself accountable for it. But that one year I lied to her and said I had the flu and could not make it. I did that because I just didn't think she could understand where I was coming from. And even Eileen's all, the 91 is hell. The 91 is hell. Okay? If you wanted to know where hell on earth is, it's the fucking 91 freeway. Okay? And not just the 91 freeway, but the 91 freeway between Orange County and the Riverside Corridor. Right there. Okay? That 15-mile stretch of road is just an asshole. So, and the 15 going south on during the holidays, not fun either. So anyways, all right, it looks like we just get 1 card. So I really wanted to do a healing thing today. So next week when we do the pre-Christmas one, it'll just be super fun. Okay. And also, Hanukkah starts tomorrow. So happy Hanukkah to those who celebrate. It's exciting. And Yule starts on the 20th. I want to say the 20th. Which is next Tuesday, I think. But in the evening. So it's kind of the 20th, but also the 21st, so which is winter solstice. So here we go. First number 1 healing card from Healing Yourself reading cards. Say what you mean. How often do we sit there and we just hold our tongue, or we let people berate us, we let people control our narrative, and we say nothing because we don't want to be a nudge, we don't want to be a burden, we don't want to be an asshole, pick one. So we sit there and we let people just traipse all over our good name and our good soul. And we say nothing. That's one of the causes of say what you mean. Or maybe you want to say something to someone. Maybe someone's been hurting you, been causing problems for you, and you need to say something. Or yesterday, I was really kind of just not in a good place. And instead of I didn't really know where I was at. I couldn't understand this feeling I was having. It was so random. I mean, it really was so random, which is why I'm so much better today, because it was a fleeting moment. It was a fleeting moment. But sometimes we have to say what we mean. We have to say exactly what's on our heart. And that's how we communicate. You don't have to be mean about it. You don't have to be angry about it. Maybe you might have all these icky feelings. But sometimes telling somebody exactly how you feel, that can hold them accountable, especially if they're the reason you feel this way. And maybe it can help mend bridges, or maybe it can just say, you know what, I'm out. This is what you did, and I'm out. Or, I need a boundary right now, so maybe we'll reconnect later. But control your narrative. Tell your story. All right. So say what you mean. Take some time to clarify what you need to communicate and to whom. Honest communication begins with you. Take a moment to connect within and ask yourself, in what area of your life are you hiding and denying how you feel? Does your relationship with your partner need revamping? Are there things that are not working? Who are the people in your life that you must be honest with? This is your opportunity to take back your power and share clearly, wisely, and honestly what does and does not work for you. When you feel vulnerable, you can be easily swayed to say what you feel the other person wants to hear in order to keep the peace. The message of this card is that you need to say what you really mean, whether someone likes it or not, or whether someone else likes it or not. You are allowed to share your truth. If somebody doesn't like it, then maybe it's because they realize it's true. People are not going to be angry at the truth. They're going to be angry when you call them out on a lie. Or they're going to be angry when you come forward and say, you know what, I'm kind of over the way you treat me. So, you may have to deal with the fallout from that. You may have to deal with consequences, or it may turn out just fine because maybe they're hurting inside and they're like, God, I had no idea. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. So, say what you mean. I'll give you a really tiny example of that. Ever since my mother died, my father, when he sees me and he hugs me, it's always like this I cannot talk today. This half-ass hug, right? It's like this weird side hug. And it's just like, finally one day I told him, I said, well, I can't wait to go blah, blah. Oh, I think it was for things. No, I don't know when it was, but I said, oh, good. I'm glad my cousin was coming over because I'm like, I need a really good hug. He's like, well, I hug you when I see you. I'm like, you give me half-ass hugs. And he's like, what's that supposed to mean? And I told him, I said, ever since mom died, I said, you don't give me a two-armed hug. You give me this weird, side half hug. Like, hey, great to see you. Like a little kid does when they're being forced to hug somebody they don't know. Right? And don't do that to kids. That's not cool. Maybe just tell them to say hi, but you don't have to force them to have physical interactions with people. But I said something, and I said something that was bothering me, and my needs got met, because the next time I saw my dad, he gave me a two-armed hug. In fact, every time I see him now, unless we're just doing a quick hug goodbye or hello or whatever, I get a two-armed hug. So, let's see. Magical messages from the fairies. Ooh. Whoa. I love when they just fly out of the deck, because I'm just like, wow, they got a lot to say. So I know a lot of people, take the fairies as you want. Wow. Oh, come on. Seriously? That's a lot of cards. So, but all right, we're going to go through them all. Oh, thank you, Eileen. All right. So here's the thing. I'll read the ones that feel like they need to be read, and I'll just give you my opinions on all of them. Or not my opinions, but what I think they're trying to say. But whether you believe in fairies or not, just look at them. If you don't believe in fairies, look at them as nature angels. Okay? But don't say it out loud, because they will come and probably hide shit from you, because that's what they like to do. But they're basically elementals. Okay? To me, that's my interpretation of them. But they're like these nature-born angels, and that's what elementals are. They're kind of like the spirit of the earth, and sometimes they can be mean because they're protecting the earth. All right. So if something is after you, or something's really kind of pissed, you need to rethink these steps and what you've done. All right. So, I like this. Be yourself. The situation calls for you to be your authentic self, which is the basis of your personal power. I like that one. So, do I really need to say more about this? If what we just talked about, say what you mean, right? Be yourself. The hardest thing I ever had to do when I was trying to discover my self-love and self-care, which again is a work in progress for me, was just being myself. And around the people I care about, like my family and my friends, I could always be myself. But over time, I started to shift. Like, you start looking and following people on social media, and you're like, well, maybe if I'm too authentic, and you're like, you don't even fucking know these people, right? But you're sitting here and you're like, seriously? What the hell? Just be yourself. Some people don't like the word authentic self, but I like authentic self, because to me, being your authentic self is just being who you are. It's speaking your truth. It's saying your truth. And if people don't like it, they can step off your train at the next stop, all right? because somebody else will get on and say, whoa, you're like the coolest person I've ever met, or I totally dig your vibe. You know, I mean, they might say you're the coolest person I've ever met to everybody, but maybe that is. Maybe it's because they've been in such a bad place that they want to be around people who are authentic, who are themselves, who, just are totally out there and comfortable with who they are. I still need to work on that when it comes to my body positivity, but you know what? Any other way, I am not the same person I was even 5 years ago. I am so much more in tune to who I am, and I'm so much more proud of who I am now than I used to be. I survived a lot of shit. I had to go through things that broke me, that tore me apart, left me laying deflated on the side of the road, and somehow I picked myself up. But it's also because, like the angel answers, I asked for help. Eventually, I asked for help. And once I did that, boy, the healing started to skyrocket in the right direction. So don't be afraid to be yourself, okay? Number 2, holiday. The answer you're looking for can be found during a vacation, retreat, or holiday getaway. Believe it or not, I was house sitting for my dad last week, and before my cousin arrived to take over duties, and it was like a retreat. And I was actually on call for a plumber as well, which never showed up while I was there, so I didn't have to take care of it. But I didn't really reach out to anybody while I was there because I didn't know if I'd have the time or if I'd have to zip back to my dad's house to get stuff taken care of. But so I just kind of kept to myself. But I did a lot of driving, I did a lot of soul searching, I did a lot of thinking, and I really feel like a lot of healing started to happen. And a lot of the answers were just, they all come back to the same thing that I know. Go with the flow. And that could be your answer too, but you don't necessarily have to take a holiday. Maybe take a drive. Spend some you time. When they say, a holiday, I think it's because when we go on holiday or vacation, we tend to forget about the world around us. We tend to forget about life back home. And so the answers can come to us because we're being more ourselves. We're being more authentic in the way that we're enjoying the vacation or the holiday. We're relaxing. We're chilling out. And when that happens, you start to get these ideas. You start to get these thought processes that are like, ooh, what if have you ever noticed that when you go on vacation, sometimes you come up with these, fabulously grand ideas? It's because you're relaxed. So, maybe even take the weekend, whether you go on a retreat or you go on a little tiny getaway or you're going on vacation. Maybe you're going away for the holidays. Take time for yourself and just really kind of, dive into that pool of you and see where the answers are. Okay? So, practice, practice, practice. That takes practice. Positivity takes practice. With daily practice, you can polish your skills and talents and increase your confidence. So again, with daily practice, you can polish your skills and talents and increase your confidence. Athletes, performers, actors, actresses, they all hone their craft. They all practice their craft. I mean, some people are just good at it when they wake up in the morning. They wake up as a 5-year-old and say, oh, I know exactly what I want to do with my life and I'm going to be good at it. But they still take time to hone their craft. They still take time to practice on the field. They still take time to go to the putting green. They still take time to go to the volleyball court or the basketball court or the baseball field or the batting cages or the soccer field, football, whatever you want to call it, or the football field to practice their kicks. My team is the Chargers. Well, they started out as the San Diego Chargers, so I always slip and call them that. But that was my team growing up, and it's still my team. And right now, we're on our 3rd kicker of the year. So basically a 3rd string kicker. Most teams only carry 2 as far as I know. They had to call this guy up like from the middle of nowhere. All right. Well, maybe not the middle of nowhere, but they had to call this guy up and fly him in for the game. And turns out he's been pretty fab. He's young. And I think he's only like 23, but boy, he's amazing. He's amazing because he practiced and practiced and practiced, and it paid off. So I know I'm using big examples, but it could be anything. Maybe you are a person that likes to cast things for people, or maybe you're a person who likes to pray a lot. Even praying takes practice because sometimes we don't do it as often as we want to, right? Sometimes we don't put that vibration behind it that we want to. I'm going to add this again every time. I say this a couple times a week. Whether you're manifesting, setting an intention, or saying a prayer, if your vibration does not match your request, you can pretty much crumple it up and throw it in the trash. It has to match, and that takes practice. Being positive takes practice. You know, I mean, we live in a world where we're so inundated with negativity. I mean, you can't open anything without seeing something negative, or somebody bashing somebody else, or somebody, you know, just being mean. So it takes practice, because we're kind of conditioned now to see the world through negative eyes. I'm trying to see the world through positive eyes. And it's hard. And it is hard sometimes to keep that balance. But practice. All right. I feel like these I say last 4, but there's 5. So goodbye to the old, hello to the new. You finished one part of your life, and now a new and even better part is beginning. Oh, that feels like validation. I really like this card. I really like this card. That really feels like validation. We're going to read on that one, so I'm going to set that one aside, okay? Get some exercise. Okay, someone's really starting to talk to me now. Mean, so mean, but it's honest. As your body becomes stronger, not stronger, as your body becomes stronger, you begin to feel stronger in all ways. I feel stronger in all ways, actually. I just need to be more physically stronger. I used to be. Believe it or not, I had some muscles a long time ago. But yeah, you know, exercise is not a bad thing. You know, walk around your complex, walk around your neighborhood. I will tell you, this is one of my favorite things about London. Everywhere I went, you know, because I didn't drive. I mean, I didn't rent a car because, yeah, driving on the other side of the car, on the other side of the road, I'm just not sure my brain could have clicked in on that. So I chose to really immerse myself and do the walking, do the tube, do the big red bus. Right, I love the big red bus. I love sitting in the front on the top in the big red bus. But yeah, those were my favorites. But one of my favorite things was walking all over the place. I mean, you could jump on to the bus if you wanted to, or you could crawl down the stairs to the tube if you wanted to. But I did spend a lot of my time just walking. I literally lost 10 to 12 pounds while I was there. And I was only there for like 9 full days. Actually, I think 8 full days. And then 2 travel days, because I was walking, and it didn't matter to me. I mean, there would be times where it's like, oh my God, I just got to soak my legs. But it was just, it's so freeing. It really is so freeing. And I'll be honest, the reason I don't walk much around where I live, it's so fucking boring around here. There is nothing. I live in a suburb. It's the same houses over and over, nothing to see, you know. I mean, I was touching buildings over there that were older than my country. But I mean, that aside, when I go to other places, I love to walk around. I've been to Vegas, and much to the chagrin of the people I go with, I tend to disappear sometimes because I just go out and wander. I love to wander. You know, it's something fun for me. And it's kind of the same thing I do when I go for my midnight drives. I'm just wandering. You know, but it's fun. It's fun. So, you know, get some exercise. All right. Affirmations. To lift up your thoughts and energy and to attract what you desire, use positive affirmations. I have a whole book up there. I'm trying to find where it is, but I think if I grab it, it might knock something off the shelf. So, anyways, affirmations. Google affirmations. Pinterest affirmations. There are affirmations for every single event, for every single moment, for every single negative thought that you might be having. There is an affirmation to contradict it and make it better. And sometimes we just need to remember these affirmations, you know. I am enough. I am awesome. I am happy. I am lovable. I am attractive. I am sexy. I am amazing. Whatever it is. It doesn't always have to be about you. Like, I am this. It can be, you know, I am so happy and grateful for a beautiful day. Or I am so happy and grateful for, you know, a wonderful weekend. And these are just ones that I'm coming up with off the top of my head to, you know, that are short that you can write down. But when we really stop and think about it, affirmations are what really kind of trains our brain to be in the more positive, to think in the more positive. So really Google, I promise you, just Google affirmations. If I remember, I'll just Google affirmations and put the link inside of the comments on YouTube and on Facebook so that you can just click on them and just kind of get a start there. But also, if you're on Pinterest, just Google positive affirmations. So let's see, the next one, connect with nature. You're rejuvenated and inspired by spending time outdoors. Walking, exercising, getting outside, riding a bike, roller skating, rollerblading. Do people even rollerblade anymore? Roller skating. Right now, even in Southern California, we, for Christmas time, all these like major cities, like I think San Diego's is in La Jolla, Orange County has one in Huntington Beach, and LA has one in Pershing Square, I believe. Ice rinks. There's also one at City Walk if you live in LA, at Universal City Walk. They're tiny little ice rinks, right? But the reason I'm saying this is because, you can go and skate around at an ice rink like you can do at, I don't think they have roller rinks anymore. Maybe a few. But these are outside. These are in nature. And it's kind of fun. The one I love about Huntington Beach is the ice rink is literally just like about maybe 500 feet from the ocean. It's, the ocean's way over here and the ice rink is right near the street. But it's at the beginning of the walkway to the pier. So it's just kind of like, ooh, that's kind of cool. And they're small, but you know what? You're outside and you're just enjoying yourself. And, for Californians at night, when the sun goes down, it gets pretty cold. So, for us, don't make fun of us. We're just used to it. But connecting with nature, going out into a forest, going to a park, sitting in the grass. Hell, just go outside your front door and sit in your lawn or your backyard. Swim in your pool. That may not be direct nature, but water is nature. Okay, even if it's got chemicals in it, water is nature. So just one of my favorite things to do is when the wind is really blowing. I just love to feel the wind blowing through my hair. It is one of my favorite things. When you have curls, it's dangerous because, these little girls like to get tangled with one another and do their dance of glory on my head and laugh at me when I try to brush them out. But I love that feeling of that wind just, last week when it rained, it was cold AF, but I ran outside. And I just decided, hey, you know what? I'm going to stand in the rain for a good soul cleanse. And I got soaked. It was great. But connect with nature, all right? Perfect timing. This is the right time for you to move forward. Good morning, baby sibling. Oh, thank you. She loves my hair. Perfect timing. This is the right time for you to move forward. So we had 7 cards, but I'm going to pick these 2 to read. Okay, the first one is goodbye to the old, hello to the new. You finished one part of your life and now a new and even better part is coming or beginning. The reason that one made me smile so big, you guys, is because that's exactly how I've been feeling. I've spent this first half of my life just kind of healing everything, getting everything just that now I feel like this is just like a validation card for me. So let's see. Let's see if I know my alphabet. All right. This card indicates that a chapter in your life is closing. Perhaps you've been feeling a sense of loss or anxiety about the future. This card reassures you that your present situation is teaching you many valuable, important life lessons. You're now taking that wisdom and beginning a journey with new people, work, and situations. Be open to this change as it brings many blessings for everyone involved. Your future is taken care of. Okay, whoever needs to hear that, your future is taken care of. You may be moving to a new home. A job or promotion is upcoming. A relationship is ending now. A transition is, a relationship. Now remember, when you hear relationship, don't necessarily look at your partner and go, oh my God, what's happening? A relationship is generalized. It can be anything. It can be a family member, a friend, a relationship, just any of those things, okay? So again, relationship is ending. A transition is noticeable. Let go of unhealthful old patterns. Make time to work on healing your past hurts. Interesting. I know. It's, one of the one of the cards in our angel answers was perfect timing. Perfect timing is everything. So goodbye old, hello new. You know, sometimes when we hear these things, you know, they might hit us between the eyes and we're thinking, whatever. But sometimes it's what we need to hear, you know. Oh, baby sibling, you poor thing. I know. Here's the funny thing. So baby sibling jumps on and all these cards just come flying out of the deck. So anyways, perfect timing. This is the right time for you to move forward. So again, perfect timing jumping on. You know, let's see. If you're wondering when your desire will be fulfilled or when it is the best moment to make a change, the answer is now. And now is italicized, so now. The universal energies have aligned perfectly and have opened a gateway for you to easily step through. This is one of those times in life when you're on a roll and everything you touch turns to gold. Take advantage of the divine timing and make your move. Any additional preparation at this point would be akin to procrastination. Take one step at a time and move forward today. So additional meanings are your positive thoughts and affirmations are working, so please keep them up. Oh, good. That's good validation. Stop procrastinating and take action. Make a clear decision. Trust your inner sense of timing about this project. Keep the faith as your prayers are on the brink of being realized. And take advantage of your spare time and use it to achieve your goals. All right, so there you go. And if you don't have spare time, when you're laying in bed, manifest the shit out of your life. All right, so like I said, the theme for today has been really about healing. And so now I go to the healing fairies. Hopefully half the deck doesn't fly out. I mean, God, I can't believe 7 cards flew out in that last one. That was crazy. So anyways, all right. Let's see. Who needs to hear what? Oh. Okay. They're trying. They are trying. There's another one. All right. Good Lord. Okay, the fairies are very vocal today. Ah, dear Poppy. Poppy must be in control of my decks right now. All right. Did I mention that fairies have a lot to say? The nature angels, they got a lot to say, and very verbal and very in your face if you don't listen. So listen. All right. So let's see. Beauty. Ooh, beauty. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Beauty is in everybody. Beauty is how you see it. Beauty, beauty, beauty. All right. Body positivity is about beauty. The affirmations are about beauty that I was talking about. You know, I am enough. I am beautiful. I'm smart. I'm handsome. I'm funny. I'm funny. I'm funny to myself only, but you know, that's okay. Because as long as I'm laughing, it doesn't matter. But, but beauty. You know, beauty really is in the eye of the beholder. People will sit there and say, what were they thinking? But what's it to you? If you're one of those people, what's it to you? You know, obviously somebody sees something that somebody else doesn't see. And if you don't see that and you lose something because of that, that's your fault. All right. If you hold back because you're worried about what the rest of the world is going to think, you're going to miss out on some amazing things. And that's sad. You know, that's sad. Because what matters the most is your happiness, your joy. Other people are always going to have opinions. And a lot of times people have opinions because they're not happy with themselves. Or because they're not happy unless they're running somebody else's life. Or they're not happy unless they're destroying somebody else's life without even realizing they're doing it. Because maybe they're not feeling fulfilled inside. Maybe there's a hole inside of them and that's how they fill it. By bringing other people down to their level and making them feel bad about themselves. So if there are decisions you want to make, if there are things you want to pursue, if there are things you want to do, you know, there's beauty in everything. One person can see a daisy and think, oh, you know, that's just going to grow everywhere like a weed, right? Another person can see a daisy and go, that's the most prettiest thing I've ever seen. So it's perspective. It really is. And what better place than the Aloha perspective? So appreciate and amplify your natural attractiveness. Your beauty is most apparent when you're happy and satisfied. Makeup is fun, you know, doing your hair is fun, but beauty comes truly from the inside. Beauty is exactly this, when you're happy and you're satisfied. And, it's one of those things where when you are vibrating at such a high level, people notice, people just zoom into you, so we are all attractive in our own unique way. Part of self-esteem is appreciating how wonderful you truly are. Never ever put yourself down in any way. I got to work on that. Always think self-loving thoughts about your body, your face, your hair, your weight, and every inch of your physical self. Okay, the fairies are really yelling at me right now because just anyway. Tell yourself positive affirmations daily. There's positive affirmations again, okay? There's a whole different deck, but there are affirmations again. So tell yourself positive affirmations daily, such as my inner light radiates through every pore and cell of my body, and everyone is attracted to my inner and outer beauty. Invest time and money in services that make you feel wonderful, such as massages, facials, manicures and pedicures, soaking in a tub, or getting a new hairstyle. Spend time in meaningful ways that make you feel joyous, and you will glow with the attractiveness of a truly happy person. So they're not saying, go out there and buy your beauty. Okay. I mean, you can if you want. I have no judgments. All right. Whatever brings you joy. But again, don't do it because you think it's what the rest of the world want to see in you. Do it because it's something you want to do. Something that will, be like, yeah, maybe this is always something I wanted to do, and do it. But what's really going to happen when they talk about the massages or the manicures or the pedicures, it's because you're being pampered. You're being treated like you are special, and you are special, and you deserve to feel special. And that's where the happiness comes from. That's where, your outer beauty really shines from the inside. I mean, think of it like this, maybe there's this really dark street and you're driving, and all of a sudden this light turns on from the inside of a house, and now you can see a little bit better because, it's shining from the inside out. So that made no sense. So just ignore that. That was a bad metaphor. Even I admit I don't like that one. But anyways, affirmation. My inner and outer selves are radiantly attractive now. I love my beautiful self. Okay? Say that to yourselves. My inner and outer selves are radiantly attractive right now. I love my beautiful self. So the next card, quiet time. There is nothing wrong with quiet time. I really don't think I need to say anything or read anything on this. If you are wandering around this world like a chicken without a head, you need to make time for quiet time. If you are unable to, because maybe you got a house full of people or family or children or whatever, do it in the shower. The shower is one of the best places to meditate. Don't pass out in there. And don't meditate so hard that you pass out in there. But just relax in there. Let the water wash everything off of you. It doesn't mean that the feeling that you're feeling on the inside is going to go away. But what it means is that you're giving yourself some peace, and you're giving yourself some quiet. And you're giving yourself some time to just kind of really regroup. Okay? So, again, find a quiet space, or, maybe meditate with everyone. Make it a family thing. Spend 5 minutes just kind of zoning out and having quiet time. All right. Growing up, I had quiet time. Sexuality. Okay. So I struggle with my body positivity, and I struggle with a lot of, you saw the nervous giggles. So I'm just going to read this one, and I'm going to go off of whatever they're saying, because I'm not always good at this. I've struggled with this my whole life, appreciating my body and what it's capable of doing, and, just kind of having that prowess that some people have, or that sensuality that other people exude. I've never really been good at that. So let's see. Sexuality. All right. And at least I'm being honest. So your sexual self needs some attention. By drawing this card, you are urged to be honest with yourself about your sexuality and to take appropriate steps. Sexuality is an important part of life, not just to our physical, sorry guys, my back is still hurting, not just to our physical self, but also to our emotional and spiritual selves. The fairy realm understands, see this, I apologize. This is a hard message for me to put out, and I'm not even giving the message, I'm just reading it, so please bear with me. The fairy realm understands the unique joy that comes from sexual experiences. They know about the divine light that is created when you merge with a beloved partner. They understand the release that sexuality brings about. By drawing this card, you are being guided to heal any sexual issues that may have arisen from negative experiences. If you were sexually abused, this card may signal a call for help from your inner self. You may be directed to seek professional counseling or a support group or to overcome negative sexual or body image issues, or to heal a sexually unsatisfying relationship. The fairies will guide you to the appropriate resources so that you can truly be free to experience the dynamic aspects of your sexuality. Affirmation: my sexual self is attractive, healthy, and able to experience great pleasure. If you're single, that doesn't mean you can't. All right? That doesn't mean you can't. There are tools in this world. You can get to know yourself really well. But yeah, if you're struggling with these things, part of the sexual abuse thing I covered in the self-love that I did last December. And it talked about dissociative behavior. And so there's a lot of times, so maybe you have a partner that just seems like they disappear. Maybe have a hard talk with them. Let them know that they can trust you, because sometimes it's really what it's about. Knowing that there's a trust thing. And for me, this is hard because I haven't been in a relationship for so long, but the last ones I were in, I had the dissociative behavior. And so I don't think I've ever really truly experienced a good sexual experience. And so my sexuality is kind of like, I know you look at me and it's like, wow, she's old as fuck. Seriously? This is, but this is what it's talking about. It's talking about kind of zeroing in and healing yourself. And you can start with you. All right. So the next one, feeling safe. I feel like this goes along with that card perfectly. Feeling safe. Communication, honesty, compromise are the best ways to feel safe when you're either attempting a relationship in the sexuality terms. I feel like those two cards go together. That's why I'm putting them together. But the whole point, even in a relationship, is you want to feel safe. You want, there may be boundaries that you're not willing to cross yet. There may be boundaries that you're willing to attempt but need to be eased into. And I'm not being specific about anything. Some people freak out when people touch them. Have you ever had those moments where it's like, you're just feeling so frazzled, your anxiety is shooting through the roof, you're just having all these horrible memories come back, and somebody goes to hug you and you're just like, oh my God, please don't touch me. It's because you don't feel safe. Because when you were vulnerable once, somebody may have taken advantage of that a lot. Or, when you were vulnerable, somebody may have just, thrown you to the curb and not given you the attention that you needed at the time. Thinking that you were just, you're just trying to get attention. No. So one of the hardest things I ever had to do in my healing journey was that when older sibling would come to give me a hug, one time I told her, please don't touch me. And it's just like, please, I don't want to be hugged. I don't want to be touched. I don't want to be anything. And then I kind of thought, no, wait. And I let her hug me. And I tell you, that broke a lot of barriers down. I don't think I ever told her that, but it really, really did, because I felt safe. I felt cared about. An older sibling gives good mommy hugs. She's not a mommy, but she gives good mommy hugs and older sibling hugs. So, that was helpful. But sometimes I think we forget that, and that's your choice. That was my choice in that situation. You get to make that choice. So be vocal, okay? You have the right to feel safe. Body movement. Hi fairies. Is this the same as exercising? So body movement, and maybe not. Body movement can be anything. Dancing, just swaying. Sometimes people look at other people in the park just kind of doing this, whatever. Even the hippies, right? The hippies and the flower children. They would get made fun of so often, but have you ever done this in your backyard or even in your front yard? I have done this in my room where I was all by myself, and I think I had watched Forrest Gump or something, and you see all these hippies just all over the place. And I'm more of a flower child, because I'm not as political as many people, which is the difference. Okay, flower children are basically hippies, but not political. They're subtly political. Okay, and when I mean subtle, it's like they're like the positive affirmations. of that movement. But older sibling called me a flower child once, and I almost had a conniption fit. But but eventually, I think I just kind of sunk into that because, but I did. I thought, I'm going to try this movement and just kind of float and dance around my room. Boy, it was freeing. Body movement is amazing because that's what your body wants you to do. Who cares what other people think about you? Who cares what other people think when you're moving about? Doing all these, what might feel silly to you. The more you do it, the less silly it's going to feel. Think about all the kids, right, that are out in the park that are just spinning and spinning and spinning until, we've all done this, right? We spin and spin and spin until we fall down. And we're dizzy dizzy AF. But we're laying on the ground, the whole world is spinning around us, and that was the coolest feeling ever. But that's body movement. That's body movement. It's not necessarily just exercise. It is just movement. So your body wants to express itself through movement. Listen to your body and it will tell you what type of movement it craves. I love dancing when nobody's watching. So your physical body has its own life force and intelligence, and it's part of the same elemental kingdom as the fairies. It's both childlike and demanding, as well as mature and insightful. This card indicates your body's wisdom and asks that you honor your body's need for exercise and movement. Spend a moment asking your body what type of movement it desires. Does it want cardiovascular conditioning, such as jogging, a peaceful walk in nature, stretching and meditative exercises in a yoga class, dance to music? I like dancing to music. Listen to and follow through with your body's answer. So exercise and body movement is not a one-size-fits-all. Okay, I think Richard Simmons proved that in the 80s. And when he did his, dancing to the oldies. And I mean, I knew young people that did it. My mom loved it. I every so often I would join in with her because it was just fun. I mean, the guy is just he's just the super pep talker. I mean, he was like a TED Talk before there were TED Talks, right? Just yeah, come on, move. You don't need to be, love yourself. And it was really all kind of that. Love yourself. And I think sometimes we forget that. I mean, I know I need to do more movement. I have become like a potato. But, and I know I'm not supposed to say bad things about myself, but I'm sharing that part because it's the truth. I really have become like a potato. I just kind of sit there like a spud. And movement can also be so mentally gratifying because you're doing something for yourself. But like I said, exercise isn't a one size fits all. If you don't want to go jogging, don't. If you don't want to go to the gym, don't. But find something. Close the door to your room if you want to. Put on the music, put on the headphones, just move, just dance. And if somebody opens the door and catches you, don't freak out. Just say, first of all, knock. Or if I don't answer, don't come in. But just be you. Be yourself. That was one of the cards we had earlier. Be yourself. So awakening your true self. Dang, there's some heavy messages going on today. Awakening your true self. And I really think that a lot of these have to do with healing. Healing is being who you are meant to be, not who everybody else wants you to be. It's who you are meant to be, who you want to be. Okay, so awakening your true self. I really, really like this card. It's about tearing away the layers of all the negative stuff that people have, kind of conditioned you in over the years, or that you have allowed them to condition you with over the years. And it's about embracing this person inside of you that is screaming to get out. So you're beginning to recover your natural identity, including your old sense of humor, interests, passions, and desires. Trust that any confusion or changes you're currently experiencing are part of your healthful evolution. I really feel like this is a card zeroing in on me too, because my healing journey was so long because I kept ignoring it. But at long last, when I started to go with the flow, I started to notice that everything was changing and everything was getting better. And that the thought processes were becoming a little bit easier. And I'm also finding that I'm getting back into the things that I love to do so much. And this is what it's talking about. It's talking about, maybe you're in the same place I am, or maybe you're nearing that place where you're at the end of your healing journey. You've looked at it, you said farewell, and you're on a whole different train track now because you're just moving through life. There are depots, and some of these depots may have triggers. Some of them may have healing moments. Those don't necessarily go away at the end of a healing journey. The healing journey means you have gathered the tools. Okay, you've upgraded your steam engine to an electric engine. Now you have all the tools that you need so that when you come to these stops where it's like, ugh, you know how to pull yourself through, or you know that you need to ask for help, to ask people to help pull you through. Sorry, I'm stumbling now. So anyways, as if a cloud is lifted from your mind and heart, you're beginning to see life from the perspective of your old self. You just went through a period where you gave up who you are to please another person. You buried your interests, ignored your friends, and tried to fit in another person's lifestyle. Ooh. Now your old self is emerging. You're back. As you recover your authentic self, your life and your personality are going through big changes. Hold tight and allow these changes to occur. The fairies ask you to trust that the parts of your life and personality that are falling away are inauthentic and false, knowing that you're building a solid foundation of truth and that everything is working out perfectly right now. Affirmation. I now give myself permission to be my true self. Oh, sorry. I now give myself permission to be true to myself. I now give myself permission to be true to myself. I don't think I need to say anything more about that. I have been in situations, basically all of them, where I have sacrificed every part of my being for somebody else. And I did that in every relationship I was in because I didn't know how to communicate. I didn't know how to compromise. I just thought I was supposed to do everything. And like I said, it's nothing bad against them, because part of the fault was mine for not speaking up and saying how I felt. And we shouldn't conform to other people. A good relationship, a healthy and strong relationship, are two people who come into this thing together and kind of form something new, right? It's like two halves of a circle that come in and form something new, or a heart, right? That come in and form something new with honesty, with communication, with compromise. You may not like everything that the other person does. I mean, like their hobbies and stuff, and they may not like everything you do for your hobbies and stuff. And there's some things that you may both enjoy doing together that the other one may introduce you to. And that's okay, because the stuff that they're not really keen on doing with you, that's your thing. That gets to be your thing. And who knows? I mean, they may appreciate it and they may like it. It just may not be their thing. But that's okay. And we shouldn't say, well, I'm giving up all my stuff because, they don't like it. No, that's not what you're meant to do. You're allowed to keep things for yourself. A relationship is just two people coming together and sharing their lives together. Friendships are two friends coming together and sharing things they enjoy together without the relationship part, or without the romance part, right? It's like a relationship without the romance, a platonic. But I mean, or maybe even siblings. I can't believe how different you are from me, but that's okay. Embrace that. Be grateful that you grew up in the same house and you're both so different as night and day, because that means that you were free to be who you wanted to be. Don't judge the other person for that. So, okay, this is interesting. This is a new fun fact that I had no idea about. So older sibling's dad, now older sibling is like my soul sister, okay? She is truly 100% a sister to me, but she's a soul sister because we are not technically related. But her father taught me how to fish. Her father taught her how to fish. In fact, she caught a halibut the size of her when she was 8, and pretty much, with the exception of pulling it in on her own, reeled that sucker in all by herself. I mean, that's how stubborn she can be, even at 8 years old. But her father, he won trophies for his fishing. He belonged to the sport. I can't remember what it was called. Sibling, I know you're on right now. The Fisherman's Lodge, Fisherman's Lodge, Sports Lodge. I don't know what it was. And he taught other kids how to fish. Today, I learned that it was her mom that introduced him into fishing. Ta-da! And as far as I know, another friend of ours who competes in fishing, that Laura actually horse trained, Laura's older sibling, horse trained, she, I believe, was, maybe, I'm not sure if this is true or not, but I think she was taught to fish by older sibling. That's not a fact I can prove, but until she says something. But yeah, I had no idea. And so there you go. One person brought something they knew to somebody else, and they took off and ran with it. So, I know this got pretty long, so I'm not going to finish the other cards that we had. Maybe we'll do them next week. We'll save them for that fun stuff, right? But I really hope that today's healing cards helped. I hope they opened your eyes to what you need to do to move forward, to see what it is that you need to see. Healing is ugly. Healing is messy. Walking away from things that do not serve your purpose, do not serve your life, have broken you over and over and over again is messy and ugly and painful. It can make you feel like you were broken into 1,000 pieces. So, okay, yeah, some older sibling just confirmed that she took our friend on her first fishing expedition, and now she competes. So, see, you never know. I mean, here's the thing. Even if either of you don't like what somebody else does, maybe you're like, I've never really been into that. I don't understand how people like that, but hey, that's your thing. Why not give it a whirl at least once? Because you never know. You might find it exciting. All right, you might find it exciting. When my friends first moved back to England a bazillion years ago, and I say a bazillion years ago because it was almost 2 decades ago, they sent, the California Rod and Reel Club. Thank you, older sibling. That's what it was called. Southern California Rod and Reel Club. So anyways, my friends moved back and they sent me all this stuff from England because they know how much I love the UK. And so they sent me like, a football player's shirt. Another one was from, I think it was cricket. I want to say cricket. I had no idea about cricket. Okay. As far as I knew, crickets were bugs. But I'm lying. I knew a little bit about it. You see movies and you're just like, what the hell are they doing with a flat paddle and a ball, blah, blah, blah. But I kind of got into it as much as I could over here. Over here in the United States, not that easy because they don't really show all that stuff. But I started I'm like, whoa, this is kind of cool. And my friend's like, yeah, my father and I belonged to this club and la la. And so, I thought you might be interested because, I know you love baseball and it's a derivative of, baseball I think is a derivative of cricket. And I just started really kind of reading about it. I still don't really understand it because I can't see it. We don't really, like I said, we don't really get that here. And I haven't found that obscure channel that shows it yet. But seriously, I can find a channel on the knife throwing championships, but I can't find cricket. What the hell? But anyways, and yes, I'm not lying. When I was in Colorado, one of the ESPN channels that, the kind they kind of joked about in the movie Dodgeball, one of the ESPN channels had the knife throwing contest or championship. I have no words. But anyways, but that's what I'm talking about. You never know who's going to introduce you into what. So be open-minded. And if it's still not something that you're into, then that's okay. But maybe you were open-minded enough that, it might be something you fall in line with. Like, wow, where's this been all my life? All right. So that's probably what I want to leave on is be open-minded to new things because you never know. All these people that, the one person that taught me how to fish and, I mean, it was fun. I mean, it wasn't really deep sea. I could still see land, thank goodness. But it was ocean fishing, and it was just, I had no idea this person learned it from his wife. So that's pretty incredible. Okay. But anyways, so let's leave it on that. Especially when it comes to healing. When it comes to healing, keep an open mind. You may not like the processes you have to go to. You may not like what you have to leave behind. But if it does not bring you joy, if it does not bring you any kind of service in your life, it's time to let it go. Does it hurt? Yes. Is it messy? It can be. But that's a moment in time. It doesn't last forever. That too shall pass. And yeah, you might have the sadness of having to leave something behind or walk away from a situation. But over time, it does heal. It doesn't mean you forget about it, but you learn how to live with it. Okay? So I hope everybody has a wonderful day, wonderful day and weekend. Have a safe weekend. It's the weekend before Christmas, so shopping, travel, all this crap is really starting to ramp up next week. I have to take my friend to the airport 3 days before Christmas. I do not know what I got myself into there, but you know what? It's okay, because sometimes people need us, right? So anyways, be kind. Be kind, be kind, be kind. I know there are going to be people out there, you're going to want to slap them upside the head with your bag or your purse or whatever walking stick you're walking with. Hold off. All right, just hold off. Be the bigger person. That's a big ask. I know that's a big ask, but I'm asking you to just be kind, because one, we don't know what other people are going through. Two assholes don't make a good thing. And three, if you're being kind and showing them some grace, who knows? You may flip their day around. You know, it may not be every person that you meet, but you may flip their day around and be like, oh my God, you might snap them out of whatever it is they're in. So just do your best, if you can, do your best to be kind. And I promise I will do the same. All right? Because sometimes people just annoy the shit out of me. But when they're so rude and cranky and you just really want to say something, and sometimes I'll feel older sibling going, no. So, no. Anyways, I can't remember what card we're on, but I think it's card number 20 on Monday for getting back into, when we get back into getting into self-awareness / getting into the vortex, which is, again, the core of your soul. So getting back into that self-awareness where we're really kind of decorating now that house of self-love that we built. So anyways, I'll be back here Monday, 8:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, Facebook Live. All lives are public. Anybody can watch. I also share these to my Facebook page and my YouTube channel, The Aloha Perspective. I also put these on on Twitter, and I do a shorter version of the Vortex cards, not these, on TikTok Monday through Thursday, which also end up on Instagram. So again, I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Thank you so much for hanging in there. I know this was a long perspective, but I really think that a lot of what I shared from my own experiences and a lot of what the cards have to say, if you really stop and go back and watch this and look through it, you are going to find that, you know, healing can be found in there. And I'm here to tell you from my own experience, healing is possible. And like I said, it's not always sunshine and roses and rainbows. Sometimes it's painful. Sometimes it's hurtful. Sometimes it feels like a house on fire. And it's messy and it's ugly. But once you trudge through that muck and that mud and you get to the other side, it's a beautiful feeling. All right. So again, have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you for hanging in there for this very long perspective. Have a great day.